James over the middle, and it's caught by Houston. He breaks through 2 tacklers. He's ahead of everyone. He's going down the far sideline, down to the 30-yard line. He's 10 yards ahead of the field. A touchdown! Wow! 81 yards!
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And what I want to do now is, now that we're working our way onto the defensive side of the ball, I want to start off with the defensive line. Not the outside, including the edge rushers or nothing, but just the defensive front. Now, pretty much since Patrick Graham, his crazy madman defense, pretty much we got 3 guys on the front. So I want to go over that. And then work my way to like the edge rushers and the inside linebackers in the secondary. But right now I want to work my way onto the defensive linemen. And we have 9 guys, okay, signed up under contract for this year, okay. We only got 3 guys that are signed up past this year. Right? We got, of course, you got Leo the Lion. You got B.J. Hill, you got Austin Johnson, you got Nico Lalos, you got Dexter Lawrence, Sir Lawrence, you got R.J. McIntosh, David Moa, who is signed for this year and next year. And then we got Ifeadi Odenigbo, I hope I pronounced that correctly. We got him, and we got Danny Shelton, and I said Leo the Lion. So David Moa, Leo the Lion, and Sir Dexter Lawrence are the only 3 guys that we have signed past this year. So we got a lot of guys on 1-year contracts, which is good because, you know, if it doesn't work out, see you later. But, you know, if it does, you know, if they're okay, you know, you might want to sign them back up. But we got a lot of guys on, you know, 1-year contracts, relatively cheap, relatively affordable. So if they start doing okay, they might want a little bit more money. So to keep them, it's gonna cost you. But since we got rid of Dalvin Tomlinson, the captain, what I want to do is possibly think about, you know, in the draft where we might be able to get somebody to take his place, to get back to that very dominating, you know, front 3 that we have now. Austin Johnson, he's decent, but, you know, I like Dalvin, personally. Then we got signed Shelton, who's going to be a great run stopper, but he's going to be the run stopper. And then Ifeadi, not good with the run, but he's got some moves, and you know, might be able to get some pressure on the quarterback. But you know, I'd rather draft somebody, put somebody in there who you can. Sorry, my dog's trying to get away from me here for a second. Sorry about that. But get somebody you draft and put in there like Dalvin. Dalvin played 4 years with us, and he played all 64 games, and he was the captain last year, and I'm really, really sorry to see him go. But he went to Minnesota for 2 years, $21 million, $10.5 million a year. Basically, the whole salary's guaranteed, so best of luck to him. But the Giants do that a lot. If we go back to 2000, all right, the Giants have done this 4 times. Drafted a defensive tackle in the 2nd round, let him play 4 years, and then see you later. In the year 2000, the year that we went to the Super Bowl, if you want to call it a Super Bowl, I don't even want to talk about that. We drafted Cornelius Griffin from Alabama. Very, very good. He started. He was very good. 4 years for us. He was really good. He started, you know, that year, and they played 4 years for us. And we see you later. He went to Washington. 2010, Linville Joseph, very, very good. Played 4 years for us. See you later. He went to Minnesota. Okay. Then, of course, in 2013, Jonathan Hankins played 4 years for us, and then see you later. He went to Indianapolis, and then, of course, now Dalvin Tomlinson in 2017 drafted defensive tackle, 2nd round. Another fantastic ball player, played 4 years for us. See you later. He went to Minnesota. So the Giants do that quite a bit. And if we're talking defensive tackle, we're talking second round. All right, I don't see anybody. Defensive, the front three. Okay, somebody you can put in there, do a decent job at the run, and hold their own when the passing game comes. Not somebody like a Danny Shelton. Oh, it's running down. Okay, we'll put Danny in. Oh, it's running. You take you out of feed. We'll put you in it to pass him. Austin, you get it. I like somebody you can maybe draft in the second round, put him in there, and I'll see you at the end of the game, right? I've seen a lot with Kwity Paye. Now, the question I have with Kwity Paye is, I think he's taller than Dalvin Tomlinson. All right, he has a high motor and all that and everything, but he's only like 272 pounds or so. Dalvin is 318 pounds. Dalvin's more of an immovable object. Now, if you put Kwity Paye in there on that front three, 270 pounds, he might get manhandled. Now, what are you going to do? Put him on the edge? Is he going to be able to drop in coverage? I think he's too light. I'm not going to pick somebody. I wouldn't pick him at number 11. I think he might have some possibilities. If we had a 4-man front, I would love to see him at the edge out there. It'd be fantastic. But we got 3 with two guys on the out. Whatever Graham's thinking up. You got Jabril Peppers putting him in the box. You got guys blitzing from all over the place. So, I think he's a little too late, and he's not somebody I think can hold up in the run game because in college it might be one thing, but you go into pros, the guys are bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. He might be able to get manhandled in the pros if we try to put him on the front. I've seen a couple drafts where he gets mocked to us at number 11, and I'm not totally throw away. It kind of brings me back to, if we can go back in time here, a guy we drafted in 1973, Rich Glover. He was a 1972 Outland Trophy winner, meaning he was the best lineman in football. And actually, I think the New York Giants are the only team in NFL history to draft 3 consecutive Outland Trophy winners. 1972, they drafted Larry Jacobson, who was the Outland Trophy winner from 1971. He played with Nebraska. In 1972, Rich Glover was the Outland Trophy winner. He was a nose tackle for Nebraska. Giants drafted him in 73. 1973, they drafted a guard from Ohio State. The Giants drafted him in 1974 in the first round. So they drafted 3 consecutive Outland Trophy winners. And Outland Trophy goes to the best lineman, meaning offense or defense lineman. So in 1972, the Outland Trophy winner was Rich Glover. We drafted him in 1973 in the 3rd round. Rich Glover was an unbelievable defensive nose tackle. If you ever want to watch him, in 1971, one of the games they call the century, meaning last century, Thanksgiving weekend, in 1971. It was November 25th, 1971. Number 1, Nebraska went to number 2, Oklahoma. It was the battle for basically who was going to be number 1. It was a great game. Nebraska won 35-31. They scored with about a minute and a half to go in the game to go up 35-31. But there was a lot of points scored, over 825 yards of offense. But if you're not into running the ball, it's maybe not a game to watch. But if you ever want to watch it on YouTube, I'm sure there's a full game on there. There was 24 passes thrown the whole game. Each team completed 6 passes. So there was 123 runs in that game. Nebraska ran the ball 59 times. Oklahoma ran the ball 64 times. It was over 825 yards of offense. 66 points were scored. So there was a lot of points. There was a lot of excitement. All game of the century. Well, Rich Glover in that game was in on 24 tackles. He was everywhere. He was basically on 1 out of every 3 tackles. He was everywhere. 1972, Nebraska, they went to the Orange Bowl. I seen them when they played Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame 40-6. They killed him. He was everywhere. He was a phenomenal player in college. He gets to the pros. The Giants draft him in the 3rd round. He's too late. He's 6'1", 240 pounds in the pros on the defensive line. He's too late. Now the Giants sucked from 73 to 80. They didn't have a winning season. 73 to 80, they won 2 games twice. One year they won 3 games. Another time they won 4 games. I mean, they were horrible. So they weren't the brightest tools in the shed, okay? So now I don't know if anybody tried to put him at like maybe a middle linebacker or an outside linebacker or something, but the Giants drafted him in 73. He played 1 year for us. He went to the WFL, played 1 year there, came back and played with the Eagles for 1 season, and then he was out of football. He was just too late. They took him where he was phenomenal in college. In the pros, he wasn't. He was too late. He was too small. He just couldn't do it. Kind of reminds me, I'm not saying Kwity Paye can't do it, but I'm saying if the Giants draft him, Kwity Paye, and put him in the front, I just think he's too small. What I would love to see us do is Christian Barmore, this stud from Alabama. He's 6'4", 310 pounds. Basically, he's the same size as Dalvin Tomlinson, but he's just a baby. He's played 2 years. He's a phenomenal. You watch any of the games of Alabama, you know who I'm talking about. He only played 1 year of high school football. His senior year, he played high school football for 1 year, and that got him to Alabama. He was that good. He's that good. In the 2nd round, if we take whatever we take in the 1st round, the 2nd round, I would try to take him. That way you could take him, put him in there, and you're back to your defensive front. You got that wall, those 3 guys in front once again. The only other guy I would draft in maybe the 2nd or possibly maybe the 3rd round, it depends, is Levi Onwuzurike. I hope I said that right. He's from Washington. He's very special. He's kind of a little he's amazing talent, but he's a little undeveloped. So he would need some coaching, and things look pretty good for him, but he would need a little bit more coaching than Christian Barmore would. I would take him in the 2nd or maybe the possibly 3rd round. But after that, if you start taking defensive tackle in the 4th round or something, all you're doing is getting, backup players pretty much. And that's what you have a bunch of guys on your team right now that are, you got Hill, you got McIntosh, you got Johnson, you got Shelton, Odigmo, you got all these guys on your team that are just maybe some quality depth. So if you draft a tackle in like the 4th round or one of those 2 6th-round picks or whatever, all you're doing is grabbing some more depth, and you got plenty of that. The only thing is if you draft them in the 6th round, they would wind up being cheap, But you got a lot of guys on your roster right now that are pretty cheap. I mean, you got with Hill and Johnson and Lalos and Moa and Shelton. I mean, you got a lot of guys that are making like $1 million or so. A lot of cheap players you got. So if you want a plug-and-play player, I would try to get Christian Barmore from Alabama. Don't go Kwity Paye at number 11. If I'm picking somebody at number 11, it's not him. I can't see putting him in there and having him making that much of a difference if you're only going to put him in situational plays. I'm not having that. Christian Barmore, get that guy in the 2nd round, put him in there, and now you got your front wall once again. And tomorrow I'll start going over the edge rushers. We can start talking about some of that. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!